Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. I came across an image recently. There were two statues that were beside each other. One was much taller and bigger and looked like a father. There was one that was much shorter and smaller, and it looked like a son. The father had all of these holes in him. A hole here, a hole here, a hole here. And that son was complete. And the insight from this image is this is how much the father had to sacrifice to make the son. All of the holes from that bigger statue put together made that smaller statue. Do you get it? Everyone's still staring. You should be like, oh. Why I've been reflecting on this is I've been reflecting on the creator is like that father with the holes, and we are like that son or creation. That the creator has been endlessly, tirelessly dedicated to us, sacrificing for us. And for us more specifically, the creator is Sri Krishna. How tactfully and patiently he has been teaching us. And we are the ones who are feeling like we're becoming whole. In verse 8, Sri Krishna shares insights about yoga and vibhuti. That yoga expresses as vibhuti. This yoga has a source too. And that's why Sri Krishna uses the word mama. And I'm sorry, that was verse 7. In verse 8, Sri Krishna shares those who have bhava, those who are filled with faith, that faith takes them from the expression to the source. Shri Krishna shares mama yoga vibhuti. That's where we are. All we see is the vibhuti, the diversity. And that too, the diversity leading to distances. But those who are filled with faith, they keep coming back from distances to diversity, diversity to unity, unity to beyond unity, where there are no references, no orientations. In verse 9, Shri Krishna talks about bodhayantaha. Bodhayantaha means to enlighten each other. That's a really wonderful term because whenever we think of being enlightened, we think that there's a master who's enlightened, who's teaching us. And that is true, but that has to be supported by students supporting each other. For us, that's our community. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Rishi Uddhava comes to Sri Krishna and notices that Sri Krishna's planning to leave creation. And Rishi Uddhava shares with Sri Krishna, let me come with you. And Sri Krishna shares, even my accessories, even my vehicles like Garuda, they can't come where I'm going. I am coming back to my Dhamma. That is my nature. Rishi Uddhava is a sincere student. He still presses Sri Krishna. Please guide me on how I can come with you. And he shares, you can come with me by knowing my nature. Because if you know my nature, that's equivalent to being my nature. And what happens after that? Shri Krishna starts to teach Rishi Uddhava about his nature. And what Pujya Swami Tejomayananda shared about this whole dialogue, he shared that the preciousness of a guru is not what to teach, but how to teach. If we analyze this in terms of values, who here doesn't know that patience is a value, discipline is a value, consistency is a value? We need a guru to show us how do we live this value through her own life, through her examples shared with students. Subodhayantaha, enlightening oneself. This is a 360-degree approach. Top to bottom, side to side. And then in verse 10, Sri Krishna shares, everyone who intellectually knows Vibhuti Yoga Mama, those who have personalized having faith that this is all an expression of me. With this faith, they're trying to know not the expression, but the source. They're trying to become more virtuous, like Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna gives them Buddhi Yoga, Dadami. Whenever Sri Krishna uses the word Dadami, you should all feel like Dadami. In this amazing way, the intellect is that which can inquire. This is the equipment that can punch through the ego. Not the body, not the breath, not the mind. It is the intellect that can inquire. And that's what Sri Krishna is sharing. I am going to live in your intellect. Your whole life, you've been using the intellect to inquire on what vacation to take, what life coach to listen to. Now I'm going to live in your intellect to inquire from Vibhuti to yoga to mama. We will know that we're using our intellect like this if our intellect becomes more still. And for all those who are reviewing Bhagavad Gita perpetually, this same messaging came at the end of chapter 2. Shri Krishna shares, for the one whose intellect is still, then what will they experience? And he goes on to share the characteristics of one who is content. Verse 11, Pujya Swami Tejomayananda called this a most beautiful shloka. And I told you we're in some amazing verses right now. Tesham evanukam partham aham ajnana jam tamaha nashayam yatma bhavastaha jnana deepena bhaswata. He says Tesham again. He's referring to all of you, those who are steady, those who are sincere. Eva, he is with us only for anukampartham. For those with your books in front of you, please share with me in the chat. What does anukampartham mean? Grace, compassion. Yes, yes. Shri Krishna's relationship with us, all that comes from this relationship is only on account of compassion. I'd shared with all of you earlier, before Shri Krishna was born, what was prophesied is that Shri Krishna will come to creation just to bless. Not to fix this, not to fix that, just to bless. And for some of us who are not filled with faith, some of us who don't know details, what Puja Swami Tejomayananda shared with us, if we all got what we deserved, we would be miserable. If every one of us very strictly got what we deserved, our lives would be miserable. But what has happened in our lives is whatever positive we've done, Shri Krishna magnifies that 10 times. And whatever negative we've done, Shri Krishna minimizes that 10 times. That is a powerful message on humility. Whenever we think, I deserve this, you're not facilitating this law of deserving. It is his compassion. How does this compassion feel? Aham ajnanajam tamaha. He's going to do something. Aham. Ajnanajam, with that which is born out of ignorance. And what is born out of ignorance? Tamaha, which means darkness. Yesterday, I used the phrase from Guru Stotra, Ajnana Timira. For the one who forgets the purpose of their life, outside there's only darkness. They move from confusion to confusion to confusion. Trying to put this in a framework. For those who are tamasic, meaning their personalities are filled with laziness, they only feel they are a creature. Just a creature. And what do creatures do? Fight against other creatures. Kill or be killed. For those who are rajasic, they're filled with aggressiveness. They feel they're part of creation. They are not isolated to be a creature where they see just this much, but they're part of creation. Those who are sattvic, filled with quietness, what do they feel they're part of, or what do they see? The creator. They're coming back from distances to diversity and so on. What happens to this ignorance? Nashayami atma bhavastaha. Nashayami atma bhavastaha. This ignorance that is established in one's personality, Shri Krishna destroys that. Yesterday in our Practices to Perfection class, the 7th practice that Acharya Shankara shares is Atma Icha Vyavasiyatam, which means to have this passion to know the spirit. And the automatic implication of the passion to know the spirit means we've forgotten the spirit, or we've forgotten who we are. So Shri Krishna will destroy that. Now, functionally, what has made us feel like this? The ego. The ego blocks us from knowing we're the spirit. The ego is like a firewall. I have no idea why the term firewall is used as the term firewall. But I imagine if I explain this to my kids, they would think of a wall that's on fire, and anything that touches it catches fire. That's what the ego is, isn't it? Anything that the ego touches starts to burn, particularly relationships. And now, the most beautiful part of this verse, I cannot describe to you about how perfect Shri Krishna's Leela is for all of us. Jnana Deepena Bhasvata. What are we all celebrating right now? Deepavali. And here Shri Krishna is giving us a direct message. Here's what to remember about this verse, about Deepavali. Imagine I have a diya in my hand, or a deepa. The container is clay or made out of earth. For us, that symbolizes the body. The wick, in case you forgot, is also made out of earth. That's the mind. And then what facilitates this? The oil, which also comes from earth. So all of us who are celebrating and decorating for Deepavali with plastic, you are not practicing this traditionally. That oil is our blueprints or vasanas. Now that deepa is pretty futile unless it is lit. That fire is knowledge. Knowledge that keeps on moving up. And then what happens? That mind becomes beautiful. The vasanas become exhausted. That is when you come home to Ayodhya. There is no more inner enemy. One is content. Are you going to do this by yourself? Try. The only one who can do this is Shri Krishna. Surrender to his Dhamma. Push that ego into the spirit. From inspiration to application, your recent application was how and why you justify. And many of you were very vulnerable in sharing on our website, which I appreciate. My observation is we justify most when we feel we're just a creature, that the world should serve me and adapt to my wants rather than the other way around. Justifying is a sign of tamas, a laziness. Your application until Deepavali, when we meet again for Bhagavad Gita, every time you walk, run, etc., take a small step and then a full step. Move a small step and then a full step safely. Whenever I give you these physical applications, there's an umbrella insurance policy. Be safe. Shanti, shanti, shantihi. Be safe, be sound, be serene. A joyous Deepavali to all. And even more evolved, be joy.